I see it every single day in the work that I do. Women are coming through our doors and are having limited access to health care, limited access to regular prevention care that they need. Things like pap smears and breast exams. Things that we shouldn't have to be worried about in 2012. These are things my grandmother fought for. Why do I have to worry about this now? And let me tell you why. Roe versus Wade, it's great, and I protect it every single day, but it's not solid. And if we don't stand up for it and fight, who will? If we don't stand up in November and actually do something about this, who will? When the government wants to take away preventative funding from Planned Parenthood, Title X funding, that is the funding that we receive at our health center here in Las Vegas on a sliding fee scale for prevention services, people. I'm not talking about abortion care here. That's illegal to use federal money. This notion that the Republicans put out there, that we're using that money for abortion, is false. It's ridiculous. And frankly, this notion that 90% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion, that's what Senator Kyle said on the floor. 90% of what we do is abortion, and only 10% of what we do is prevention. That is crap. It's the other way around. It's actually 97% of what we do is prevention services. So let me tell you something. That 3% of abortion services that we do provide, I am proud to provide that 3%. I'm proud. And let me tell you why. When a woman calls my office and tells me that she was gang raped and now she's pregnant, and then Republicans want to limit her access to abortion, that is unreal. That is disgusting. She should have access. She should have people supporting her. She needs us to stand up with her and fight for her rights. Because who else is going to do it? Who else will stand with these things if we don't? Now let me just tell you something. This is one of my personal pet peeves as an organizer. I love seeing you all out here. I appreciate you being out here. But this is only the first step. Because you know what? It's a long road to November. It's a long road to November. And if you march today, I better see you on the streets canvassing with me. I better see you out on the campaign trail asking those candidates why they want to shut down our Title X funding. I better see you out there talking to your friends and your family and actually doing something, not just marching. Because a march is fabulous, and a march makes a difference. But you know what makes the real difference? It's going and voting, getting your friends registered to vote, and voting for candidates like Shelley Berkeley, who actually groups like Planned Parenthood, who actually show up to my event and fly in the night of our event just to speak. That's what our leaders need to be doing. Now, I want to go through a couple of things with you that I just think are disgusting. It all started last April when they tried to take away our Title X funding. I was in Washington, D.C. I went lobby Senator Reid the day they were going to shut the government down over Planned Parenthood. Who would have thought they were going to shut the U.S. government down over Planned Parenthood? Let's get real here. I didn't know I had that kind of power. So we're there, we're lobbying Senator Reid, and he says to me, not only no will they shut down Planned Parenthood, not only no will they take away your funding, but hell no. That's the kind of leadership I expect out of all leaders. Now, they didn't do it. They stood up for women. Well, that's nice, because they kept going. Let's go to the Let Women Die bill in October of last year. This one kind of flew under the radar. This one would have eliminated abortion services in emergency rooms if you disagreed with it. If a woman walked in and was hemorrhaging and going to die and needed an abortion procedure for an emergency purpose, they were just going to let her die. Because that's the way we treat women in this country.
Oh, hell no!
The term limits. used by all ages safely. But they don't want to do it for political reasons. I'm tired of the politics. I'm tired of politics in my vagina. Now, this is the one that really threw me for a loop, and I'm not talking bad here, but it's got to be said. When they start pitting women's organizations against each other, you know the shit's hit the fan.
All right.
When Susan G. Komen decided that they were going to take away our funding for political reasons, I'm sorry, I was angry. And I still am angry. And you know what? We have a great relationship with the Susan G. Komen here in Las Vegas. I am not bashing them whatsoever. This is a national decision. But you know what? It still was a decision that was made, and now we have to hold them accountable. We have to ensure that they continue funding breast health services for Planned Parenthood. If that would have been shut down, $220,000 would have been taken away from our health center in Northern Nevada. That goes to breast screenings and mammograms. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Now, let's go to the States. All these crazy things that are going on in the States. The transvaginal ultrasound. That's right. What about the ones that are forcing abortion procedures to become certain time frames, or limiting access, or even threatening to close down the last abortion clinic in Mississippi that I worked to save under the Personhood Day? That is not okay. It is 2012 and women need access to basic health care. Seek to ban birth control, hormonal birth control, in vitro fertilization for women who do want to get pregnant, and they seek to ban abortion in all cases, even rape and incest and life of the mother. They don't care about women. They don't care about our health. And I'm tired of it. This is not okay, and I need you to stand up and fight with me, because I cannot do this by myself. Affordable Care Act, a huge step forward for women. Things like birth control and mammograms will be covered under this with no copay. That's unreal. That's a huge step forward. Only to go into fighting about it because they don't want government paying for help for my birth control, which was not even the case. The religious exemption already existed. We have one here in this state. We're not forcing anybody to be on birth control. We're not forcing religious institutions to give birth control to their employees. That was already in the bill. This was simply giving everybody the option to be on birth control, regardless of your religious affiliation. It's about religious freedom. That's their argument. Let me have my freedom. Let me have my religious freedom. So let me close with this. I've been doing this for a long time now. And every year it happens. Everybody gets so riled up during election season. It's an important year. It's a presidential year. You have candidates, like I said, threatening to close down Planned Parenthood if they're elected. But it can't stop after this, because that's what happens. We stop paying attention, and they do it again. And we stop paying attention, and they do it again. And I'm tired of it. And we have to stand up, and we have to fight. So if you're with me, sign the Planned Parenthood petition. Help us. Come join us, because we need you today. Thank you so much.
And I got the picture that we were not cooperating, but maybe we were making it hard for you. And so I intervened a little bit here to make sure that any additional costs incurred would not be taken out of your pockets. And I think in the end, we've got it set up pretty good. So normally what I would be saying is, welcome to Ward 3, welcome to downtown Las Vegas. But hell, here I am, a crazy politician in a place where you can't win for losing. I don't know a single elected official who should be here right now. I mean, what can you win? What can you gain by taking a position on issues which absolutely infuriated people. Because if you believe passionately in these issues, can you imagine the other side? Well, I've been involved in public life on We're Together for 40 years. 1972 was my meeting here, and I was helping good Democratic candidates like Jim Bilber run for Congress and George McGovern run for president. Well, we didn't win that battle, but I think in the end we won the war because the next year we'll be able to declare the law of the land, and I suspect no change will happen. But you can't let your guard down on that, can you? That's why you're out here today. Now, I'm not a fire-breathing speaker, but I can tell you I've been through the wars because 29 years ago I was elected to public office. And one of the major issues at the time, in the early 80s, was abortion, access to abortion. And then, as that passed from the scene, it became, should a woman have the right to seek an abortion? Did she have to get permission of her parents or guardians? Or could she even find the money to pay for it? It became another way of getting to this central issue about abortion. Now, for just a minute, put yourself in my shoes and the shoes of a lot of folks. And that lady, female legislators, elected officials, they have to listen to everybody. We listen to all sides, and there's never just two sides. So what we have found is that by listening intently and carefully to all the sides, sometimes you get an idea about what's making people tick. Because there are on the other side that truly believe and have nightmares over the outcome. And consequently, we have to understand that feeling, or you'll never get anywhere. You can't win if you don't listen, because they won't listen to you. Well, it sounds like Congress these days. Well, we have a solution sometimes to these problems when legislators wanted to make it impossible for a woman to get an abortion below a certain age. We said, and I proposed an amendment that said, fine, you feel this way, then for every child that is born because of a command of the state, then the state should pay for that child's entire education. When you put this issue in practical, frankly unemotional budgetary terms to a lot of people, and I suppose there are Democrats, including Republicans, in this issue. Well, let's not just kill the Republicans over it. Some of my colleagues feel the same way. Boy, oh boy, do people start to realize the cost. Because then they understand the cost to society of a child born who either was not wanted, or was unexpected, or was not able to survive outside. And therefore, we reached accommodations for a good many years. And now I cannot believe the legislation that I see being presented here and there. It strikes me as uncommonly stupid that we can force these chemical and these electronic invasions on females, because frankly, if you scratch a Republican, there's a Libertarian underneath. If you scratch a lot of us here in Nevada, scratch us, any party, there's a little Libertarian in there. We all live in a good state. We do not like governmental intervention of any kind. And trust me, there could not be a grosser example of governmental intervention than intervening in the life and the health of a woman and the children. So, those who scream on one side and the other, remember, there are times when we must calm it down a bit and get together. I know this election will be defined on very much these same terms, and only a fool would say there won't be a lot of screaming between now and November 4th or 5th or 6th. And I'll be out there working just as my wife is and my daughter is, to help elect people who believe that governmental intervention in the health of a woman is a terrible, terrible mistake. My wife, I was lucky enough to marry a wonderful woman many of you might know. Her name is Mary Hausch. Mary's been a campaigner for women's rights for many years. When I married Mary, she was a founding member of Planned Parenthood of Southern Nevada.